Folks, everybody will go down with the ship. I'll tell you what I mean by that and then get into the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending May 28, 2025. There are lots of people that have purchased either recently or a few years back, lots of moms and dads that have purchased a family home and they didn't quite qualify for the mortgage. So what they did was they looked at their adult children and said, hey, we don't quite qualify, but if we add you to the mortgage, we will qualify and we'll buy this beautiful family home. And the one or two adult children said, no problem, mom and dad. And they discussed how all this would work and everything was explained to them. And the plan was at some point in the future, parents would refinance and take the kids off the mortgage so the kids could go on and do their own financial dealings. This turn in market events has stopped a lot of people from realizing that exit strategy. Things change. The obvious change is the market changes. No more appreciation. It really doesn't exist right now. And that was a big catalyst, a big factor in the parents at some point refinancing. If they bought here and appreciation kept growing, well, they had this sense of appreciation building up and equity building up, actually, let me say. And to requalify was easier back then when values were going up quite aggressively. And it made sense to a lot of people to do it that way. Well, that's been removed from the equation, so parents weren't able to refinance and get their kids off title. But other things have changed as a result of the market and the economy. Maybe one of the parents is self-employed and that business dried up. Or the people on title, maybe somebody's lost their job and they were a contributor to the mortgage and so they're falling behind on payments. So what started off as a happy situation and look at this beautiful home we're in and birthday parties and holiday events and everything was awesome for could be several years has now turned sideways. And it doesn't matter how much mom and dad say this is our responsibility. If things go sideways and you've got to get into power of sales or you got to get into bad financial situations, everybody on title will be affected. It's not a matter, I started off by saying everybody's going down with the ship. We all know the expression, the captain goes down, everyone else gets saved, but the captain goes down with the ship. Not when it comes to title. Everybody on title, everybody on the mortgage is going to have their financial future affected by this. I'm not telling you how to run your life, how to run your family. But if you're looking to add anybody on title, if you're looking to add anybody onto your mortgage, think long and hard and think of the consequences and really plan it out because everybody will be affected if things go sideways. If you think this video can help somebody please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. There's a link below this video in the description. It's a link to my calendar, or you can go directly to tsre.ca. It'll take you straight to my calendar. Pick a date and time that suits you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, at the end of the show, there'll be a link on the screen to a bungalow on half an acre. It's a bit northwest of Brampton. Click on the link, check it out. Here we go. We're focused on freehold properties, just detached freehold properties for Mississauga, Brampton, and Durham. For Durham, we're using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as our Durham sample Here's a summary of average sold prices for 3 months. Brampton and Durham down here. If you add 352,000 to the average sold price, you'll get to where the average sold prices are in Mississauga. Big difference between average prices of detached properties in Mississauga versus Brampton and Durham. And you can see here, Brampton and Durham, pretty similar. Going back 3 months, you can go back a lot longer than 3 months. This is the pattern, but Mississauga is normally much higher. We're going to start off with Mississauga detached properties for week ending May 28th. 50 detached properties were sold, so sales jumped way up. The amount of properties selling at $2 million or more also jumped way up to 9. 9 were sold. And we can go back a whole year here. There was one other week where we sold 9, and then a week where we sold 8. So 9 is pretty much the highest we've seen in a year, selling at $2 million or more in Mississauga. Sales, I would say overall, kind of trending up, not necessarily in a direct line trending up, but overall, we seem to be, especially with the 50 that we're seeing now, we seem to be selling more now than we were, say, the beginning of March. Average sold price is $1,437,000. Now, for a while, since January, average sold price in Mississauga has been coming down, has been trending that way. But sometime in April, things turn around. And now for a while, since April, mid-April, it seems average sold price is trending up in Mississauga for detached properties. Compared to last year, 1,437 is 2% lower. The median price of 1,314 is 5% lower. And if we take it from mid-April some point, the dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average, it's trending up. Median price, not quite trending up as much as the average price is, but both are trending up. So 50 were sold. 11 of those, which is 22%, sold at list price or more. There's a ton of listings. 180 detached properties were listed in Mississauga. Active listings is climbing. We're now at 921 available detached properties for sale in Mississauga. And months of inventory came down a bit. Came down quite a lot. But the previous week, because sales were so low, a long week, and I'm not going to get into that story again, but we're at 4.3. And if you kind of look back the previous few weeks, yeah, it's kind of in line to where we were before. Pretty much a balanced market overall in Mississauga. Brampton, 47 detached properties were sold. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. 47, I would say kind of flat. Sales are not really trending up or down. They're kind of flat. Average sold price since February looks like overall has been trending down. Average sold price is now $1,085,000 for week ending May 28th. $1,085,000 is 9% lower year over year. The median price of $1 million also, sorry, it kind of threw me off. $1,085,000 is also the median price, and that is 5% lower year over year. If you look at the dotted line, the 4-week moving average, since April or even sooner over the previous 3 months, it's down slightly. Both average price and median price are down slightly. 47 were sold, 12 of those, so 26% sold at list price or more. Lots of listings, 248 were listed. These are just detached properties. Active listings, no surprise, it's climbing. It's climbing in basically every part of the GTA. And months of inventory, although it's down, it's still really high at 6.3 months of inventory. Here's Durham, and I remind you, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 51 detached properties were sold. 1 of those sold at $2 million or more. What's happening with sales? Well, if we start at the beginning of the year and we go, say, to first week or so in April, yeah, sales, you can say, pretty confidently are trending up. But since then, they're really not trending up or down. They seem kind of flat. Average sold price since February looks like it's been trending down. We're now sitting at $1,086,000. $1,086,000 is 5% lower year over year. The median price of $1,030,000 is 8% lower. The dotted line, the 4-week moving average, shows both median price and average price trending down. 51 were sold, 19. So 37% sold at list price or more. Lots of new listings, folks. 193 detached properties were listed just in the week ending May 28th. Active listings is climbing. Months of inventory sitting at 3.2. Here's a summary of months of inventory. Mississauga, Brampton, Durham, 4.3, 6.3, 3.2. It's pretty much a balanced market in most cases. You will experience a buyer's market in some pockets. There are situations, especially in Mississauga, in the lower, the entry-level detached market, where you will see some competition and find yourself competing with other buyers. But pretty much overall, you're going to experience more of a balanced market in most cases. Now check out this awesome bungalow on half an acre.